And the reason I'm not afraid to teach this is because people need to know the truth. And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. What is it going to free you from? It's going to free you from the denial that you have been living. The veil that's on your eyes that have been blinding you. And I'm going to be honest, you cannot learn any more than what you've been taught. But when you've been taught something new, it's up to you to learn it. Or if you dismiss it, you can't blame anyone. You hear me? We're quick to say, oh, that doesn't agree with my spirit. But how does it not agree with your spirit when your spirit's never heard it and you never gave your spirit the opportunity to listen? Because you have a cognitive dissonance and you dismissed it and quickly said, I don't want it. I don't want it. I'm going to be real with y'all tonight. And so if it doesn't fit with your core value, you've been taught to dismiss it. Now, only one I got tonight is Periscope. I'm so sorry. I lost my Facebook people over here. Hopefully they'll come back. Facebook trips on me. So I shared with you some weeks ago that your core belief started to develop through an ego. Now, let me break it down. It started right away. Your parents give you a name. And then they began treating you a certain way based on your gender. Facebook, thank you for joining back. I apologize. I pray it doesn't drop again, but thank you. If it drops again, please come back. Okay? So your cognizant core beliefs, your core beliefs and your core values started when you were born. Your parents gave you a name. Whether you're a boy or girl, they gave you a name based on your gender. Thank you, Catherine, for joining us again. And then they began treating you a certain way based on your gender. So if you were a boy, they treated you like a boy. They treated you rough, treated you tough. If you were a girl, they treated you with niceness and tenderness and that. And so you began to grow up saying, boys play with toys. Boys play with trucks. Girls play with dolls. They reinforced that idea. I apologize, DJ Peg, that you lost me, brother. I apologize. And listen, Facebook people, listen. If I lose you again, I'm going to start it again, and please join me again. But I apologize with all the technical difficulties. I will talk to Facebook. Okay, so they begin to reinforce the ideas that boys play with trucks and girls play with dolls. Your parents start telling you all the ways you're supposed to act as an individual, like what manners you should have. They tell you to share your toys, to be polite, say thank you. They're building an ego. But can I say something else? Based on what belief you were born into is the belief that they put into your core value. If you're born Methodist, you got the Methodist core. If you're born a Buddhist, you got the Buddhist core. If you're born Hindu, you got the Hindu. If you're born whatever belief your parents had, that's what they gave you and built your core. Okay? They built your core. Excuse me a second. Let me get rid of somebody. Done. And so when your core is built, now it's hard for you to receive any new teaching because ever since you was a little lad growing up, you've been told, walk this way, talk this way, act this way, believe this way. So anything new that has some truth to it that your soul goes, that makes sense. But then your cognitive dissonance begins to fight and go, but we can't accept it because it wasn't told to us. And if mama didn't tell it to us, it was good for my mother. It was good for my mother. Give me that old-time religion. I don't want old-time religion because old-time religion was stuck in ignorance as far as they could go. I need to know today's insight so that God can show me. I can learn from the Judaism. I can learn from the Hinduism. I can learn from the Buddhist. I can learn from Christianity. I can learn if I open myself because I'm not dumb to receive everything. I know how to eat the straw and spit out the sticks, but you have to open yourself. That's what's wrong with the body of God today. They are not opening themselves. They're so closed-minded, and then they're quickly to dismiss. They're quick to dismiss. I don't know why you only want you to see his chest, because I see me. Pick your head up a little bit. Come on up a little bit. All right? So with that being said, you've been taught how to act. You've been taught how to... And when you only know one way, you're close to the other 99 ways that can give you... Most of the time, we're living a life of discord because it was taught to us in our core beliefs. Oh, I wish I had some help tonight. You develop likes and dislikes And it's through this identity and personality that people get to know who you are and what you are as a person. So with that being said, this is what we love to do as Christians. Light and darkness has no fellowship. She said, I can see you. You see you. I can. Okay, God bless you. Just listen. If you can't see me, just listen. I apologize for whatever's going on. Turn your screen, maybe it'll help. And so, with that being said, how are you enjoying this tonight? You are so closed-minded that when God sends you the truth, because it was not taught to you, you dismiss it, and it says now you perish because of the lack of knowledge. And you rejected the knowledge that God has sent. Okay? This is where your core beliefs were founded and developed. Now, the cognitive dissonance is happening within your mind because your core beliefs are clashing with the new information, and you're struggling to accept the enlightenment. Oh, I wish I had some help, because you're struggling to accept the enlightenment, but God said, I will not leave you dumb. I'll give you the information, but you can't be so closed. I can sit and have a conversation. I was on a plane last week, as a matter of fact, sitting by a Jew. He was Judaism. And we had a great conversation. And I wasn't there to tell him what I know as Christian. No, I needed to know, what do you believe? And how can I learn from you? He was 82 years old. I'm 47. So you know what? He's got some years on me. Let me shut up. Let me stop trying to be spiritually deep, and let me soak up some knowledge so it'll make me more effective to this world versus only effective to Christians. Oh my God. We have too many people. I don't want to be a minister to just the Christians. I want to be a minister to the world. And the only way I can minister to the world is I got to know how the world thinks. And to know how the world thinks, you got to open yourself up to hear the world, learn from the world, and apply the knowledge. Come on, somebody. The reason why we're not learning anything is we're too closed-minded. If it doesn't agree with my core belief, we're clashing, we're fighting. And I know what Apostle Pope is saying is right, but that's your cognitive dissonance. That's your cognitive. You having a problem. Your cognitive dissonance is fighting inside of you. And you know that what I'm saying is true, but your core belief won't let you receive it. She said, the reason why we're not learning anything is we're too closed. That's exactly right, love Christ. We're too closed-minded. And I'm going to tell you something. When I was a baby, I didn't know anything. I'm going to tell you something. There's a lot of people who have been in church forever that don't know anything. That is why God said, be in the world, but not of the world. That's right. Listen, we need to stop being so religious and so antisocial in your religion. And you need to understand, when I go to heaven, I'm going to be with some Jews. I'm going to be with some Hindus. I'm going to be with some Buddhists. I'm going to be with all these different type of people. But you know what? Then you're going to look like a fool because you could have lived a life in freedom versus living one closed in because they told you you can't do X, Y, and Z. Let me keep teaching. Is this blessing anybody tonight? If it's blessing you, give me some hearts on Periscope. Hit some hearts over here on Facebook. We are going to, I told you earlier, I'm going to have you squirming in your seats because you are going to know the truth tonight. And I'm going to tell you, when you know the truth, it's going to make you free. Many people, now this is going to blow your mind. I'm going to talk to some preachers right now. Many people, Sonya, I'm going to preach, baby, because if I had a Hammond organ, I'd say put me in the key of E flat and let me say, because I feel something right now. Many people sit in services week after week, year after year. You hear me? I'm going to give you a word, baby. You're going to get it tonight. Year after year, you sit in church, and many of you are beginning, that's right, girl, E flat. Don't make me go now. I put that thing in their ear like that Baptist preacher. Oh, you know how we do it. And so with that being said, listen, if you're new to me tonight, I don't have any sense. I like having fun, okay? But there's no greater insight given but of that which moves you emotionally. We're sitting in a lot of churches on Sunday morning being moved emotionally and never being awakened spiritually. I'll clap right there. I'll clap. You're being moved emotionally. When the organ hits and you start hucking in the bucket and doing your shout, and you go, oh, we had some church. No, baby, your emotions were moved, but you're still dead spiritually. God did not come into your service. Emotions came in. They sang a song because you were struggling that week and you said, I need a song. Oh, to thee, my precious Savior, I surrender all. Yeah, you surrendered all, but then Monday you went right back to what you were doing because you didn't have a spiritual awakening. You had an emotional movement. Somebody better say amen. An emotional movement. And so many people are sitting in services and you have never had a spiritual awakening, but you had an emotional movement. No greater insight was given. Many sit here tonight, hearing this message, but inside, and even in services, many of you have sat in churches on Sundays and heard the preacher preach the same message you heard since you were 5. No deeper revelation, no deeper insight, no deeper knowledge. You know the same message. You know the same thing. You can repeat and finish what they're going to say. And if you can finish what I'm going to say, then that means you ain't learned anything but the thing you've learned all your life, which means I need to shut down and sit down. Because if I'm going to be a teacher, my job is to teach you what you don't know. Oh, come on. My job is not to move you emotionally. My job is to awaken you spiritually and intellectually and consciously so that you will know who God is versus no other God based on what a religion told you. Now, somebody know right now I'm telling the truth to you. And so with that being said, many sit hearing the message, but inside you have a different opinion which remains silent and you follow it with an amen. Now, let me tell you how I know what I'm talking about. Because the preacher's telling you something, and you're like, amen, because you know we need to say something right now, because even though he's saying something I don't really agree with, or he's saying something that's kind of hard for me to take in, I'm going to say amen anyway. No, boo, if you don't agree with it, don't say nothing. But the best thing you can do is sit back and be quiet and learn something versus say amen to something you don't agree with. Come on now. And so what happens to the person's private opinion, if he is forced to do or say something contrary to that opinion. Now, can I be honest with you? Some of you do not agree with what your preachers and pastors are saying. You don't even agree with what I'm saying, and I'm cool with it because I'm not here for everybody. I'm only here for those that want to be awakened. But there's some people that come in just to be nosy, just to hear what you're saying, just to see what you're doing. Not because they come to be awakened, they come to be a nosy. Okay? Amen. And so they sit there and they'll say, oh, I enjoyed this service, but they'll go back and talk about you. They'll dog your services out and say, listen, if you're going to talk about me, they don't even come to support me. Stay where you are. I wish I had some amens right now. Because here's the problem. You are sitting with a private, personal opinion that is contrary to what you're hearing. But because it was your mama's church, and because it's your family's church, because this is the first place you found God, but thank God if you found him in this church. But if now it's not agreeing with your spirit, then it's your responsibility to get up, get out, and get somewhere that is going to agree with your spirit and help you versus keep coming to a place because it's big. Oh, I love my pastor. We're mega. But if you're mega but many, then you ain't doing nothing. Oh, Jesus Christ. Let that set in. You may be mega, but many, meaning small in your thinking. Small in your thinking. And so if you are going to be a powerful vessel, then you got to open yourself up to a bigger world that's bigger than you. And so what happens to a person's private opinion if he is forced to do or say something contrary to opinions? Now, I'm going to bust some pastors up. Are you ready? Pastors, you can't say what the deacons tell you to say if it's contrary to your private belief. You can't want to be in a church so bad that you compromise. He said, hammer don't hurt him. I ain't going to hurt him, but I'm going to educate him. You can't afford to want to preach in the pulpit and be controlled and have a private opinion. Woo! You need to sit down. If you can't represent who God is to you and enlighten the world to the power that God has given you and awaken them, then you need to leave that dead place, shake the dust, keep it moving. But most pastors will not tell you what I'm telling you because they have congregations that pay the bill, pay their salary, keep the lights on, keep them in their cars. So they're not going to tell you this kind of stuff that's contrary. But some of the preachers know the very thing I'm telling is the truth, but they won't teach it because it's not popular. So I need to stay popular versus stay real. Oh, I wish I had some amen. Y'all need to share this tonight. The world needs to hear this. We need to stop pacifying and keep passing ignorance from generation to generation I'm that preacher. When God awakened me, yes, I knew the message I was going to give was going to be contrary to some people. They're going to say I flipped my script, but I did not care because the moment I knew the truth, it made me free, and it made me free of you. When I say you, meaning your opinions, your thoughts, and your prayers against me. Because I know the God that I serve gave it. I know the God that I serve enlightened me. And he said, now it's your job to awaken those that want to be awakened. Now, some people like sleepwalking. Some people like going to services and sitting in the pew and sleep sitting. Oh my God, I'm feeling the Holy Ghost. And you like going there because you know what? It doesn't force you to go anywhere bigger than where you are. But now you say you want to advance and you want to go to the next level, but it comes with you being awakened and opening yourself to something bigger than just the typical thing you keep getting week after week, Sunday after Sunday. Come on, somebody. So listen, preachers and those sitting in the congregation, it's your responsibility to tell the truth of what God gives you, even if it ruffles some feathers. Now, when I started teaching this about the awakening, and when God gave it to me, I already knew I would lose some people. I was cool with that. I already knew I would lose some friends. I was cool with that. You know why? Because you don't have a heaven or hell to put me in. I got to do what God called me to do. He told me to preach it, teach it, and educate, and that's what I'm having to do. I feel the Holy Ghost. Only recently there has been an experimental work related to this question. Are you enjoying this tonight? I love what I'm seeing tonight, regardless of two. Come on, that's right. You preachers. If it's just you and your wife or your husband or your dog, baby, bow, wow, wow, yippee, yo, yippee, hey, preach the truth and tell them what God says, not what religion says, what God says. And open them up to a better, bigger world. The reason why we are dying and have yet never lived is because our egos and our core beliefs keep us in a box. And inside that box is called ignorance. And labor on the outside is ignorance. And that's why God says, I healed. That's why they say, I healed in your name. I delivered in your name. I cast out demons in your name. He says, depart from me, ye workers of iniquity, because I never knew you. Wait, you mean I never need? Wait, if I did all these things in your name, but you don't know me because I never awakened to who I really am in you. That's right. Truth set captives free. So many will be surprised during the rapture. They sure will. The folks you put in hell are going to be at the gate saying welcome, and the folks you put in heaven are going to be flying high straight to hell. Oh, boy, I tell you. Let me keep going. So Leon Festinger in 1957 proposed cognitive dissonance theory, which states that a very powerful motive to maintain cognitive consistency can give rise to irrational and sometimes manipulative behavior. Whoa, wait a minute. You mean manipulative behavior comes from the pulpit? You doggone Skippy. There's preachers that know how to emotionally move you to get your money. They know how to move you to get you to do what they want you to do. And until you know the truth and say, wait a minute, I don't have to give you $100 to be delivered and healed. Now, if I choose to sow a seed into your life, I'm doing it from my heart. But I'm not going to have to I never have to pay for something. Pulpit pimps, you better say it. I would not, and I am a prophet, been one for years, can see well in the spirit, but I will not prostitute my gift. I will tell you what thus said the Lord, whether you give me a dime or a penny or nothing, because you don't pay my bills, God pay them, but he will use you to do it because he'll say, bless that man. Oh, y'all know what? Can I have a moment? Let me just have a moment. I need a drink of water. I need a drink of water. 1 second, guys. Woo! God said, I will make your enemies your footstool, meaning he'll make the ones that don't like you take care of you. You just be real. Who am I talking to tonight? Yes, I said, this is my argument all the time. So, here we go. According to Kissinger, many hold many cognitions about the world and ourselves. And when they clash, a disparity is invoked, meaning there is something that is invoked inside of you that makes you restless at night. And the result is a state of tension known as cognitive dissonance. And as this experience of dissonance is unpleasant, we are motivated to reduce or to eliminate it and to achieve consonance or agreement. So this is what we do. Let me blow your mind. So you hear me teach something that is causing you cognitive dissonance. And it's causing you inside to feel a certain way. Now, you know I'm telling the truth, but because of your core beliefs, you got this war in your mind going on. So then what you do is you find somebody who agrees with you, and then you tell them that this crazy man said X, Y, and Z, and then they tell you, oh, girl, dismiss that old man, dismiss that. He's witchcraft. He's foolish. That is the devil speaking. And you say, hey, you're right. And you seek consonance or someone that agrees with you to make you feel that it's okay to release it. In other words, you're looking for someone to pamper you when you're going through cognitive dissonance. You're looking for someone that will validate what you believe versus you say, wait a minute, let me go to someone else who can listen and not, someone else versus your little clique that keeps telling you what you want to hear. I don't need cheerleaders. I need you to tell me the truth, because I don't want to be in hell with my cheerleaders and wish you had told me the truth and said, no. I don't need cheerleaders. I don't need cheerleaders. Y'all need to text that and tweet that tonight. I don't need cheerleaders. I'm looking for loopholes. Yeah, I don't need that. I'm going to tell you the truth. Now, here's the thing I found out. A lot of stuff that they told you can't do is called control. And you can't do it because they couldn't do it. And since they couldn't do it, you can't do it. I'll pause right there for a moment for a station break. Because a lot of people will tell you that you can't do that. But they tell you can't do that because they can't do it. Let me keep going. Am I doing all right tonight? Are you guys enjoying this? I can get a little caught up sometimes. She says, suit up and get your mind in the game. Come on. I can get a little carried away from time, but it's because this is so good. It is. So 2 other studies reported by Janus and King in 1954 and 1956 clearly showed that, at least under some conditions, the private opinion changes so as to bring it into closer correspondence with the overt behavior that the person was forced to perform. That's why I said cognitive consequences of forced compliances. Some of you are sitting in churches that you don't agree with, and the moment you got out of line, you were forced. You had cognitive consequences that forced you to comply. You were silenced. Your name was put on the board as those who are, quote unquote, not doing right. You were made an example out of over the pulpit. So you had cognitive consequences of forced compliance. I'm going to make you do what I want you to do. So now you got all of these doggone taskmasters that call themselves pastors, or you got even people in the church who hold the money, or people that control the finances that tells you unless you do what we want to do, there's going to be a forced compliance, and you will comply. So you have a personal. Specifically, they showed that if a person are you enjoying this tonight? Specifically, they showed that if a person is forced to improvise a speech supporting a point of view which he disagrees, his private opinion moves towards the position advocated in the speech. Now, let me break that down. Many of you are supporting what you've been told to support, but you don't believe it. So you bought into it and you complied to it, but you don't believe in it. But after you complied, you said, well, if you can't beat them, join them. The devil is a lie. I will die before I join something that isn't right. You can't, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And so with cognitive dissonance, a person that has a private opinion, if it's contrary to what, if you know, this is why some of you don't speak how you really feel, because you know it's going to ruffle some feathers, and people are going to look at you like a problem child. So you keep your opinions to yourself and just go along and say amen. When you know doggone well you don't believe in nothing they're saying, and you go home and get on the phone and call them and say, these folks over here, X, Y, and Z. If you got to call somebody, don't go back. And I'm sick of people coming to services, sit there and listen like this, and then they don't agree, and then they leave the church and get on the phone and tell everybody that they didn't agree with you, and don't go over there. Well, listen, I don't need you to be a spy. If you don't agree, don't show up. Go to what you agree with. In Rome, do as Romans do. But my whole point is, stop thinking you know when God gives you a teacher, and a teacher trying to teach you and show you something that can help you. I'm not trying to help myself. God is helping me. I'm trying to help you not to be under the cloud of condemnation that people put on you through your core beliefs. So with that being said, the observed opinion change is greater than for the person for only hear the speech, or for the persons who read the prepared speech with emphasis solely on the execution, manner, and delivery. What that simply says is, when the person says, read this, they read it. They read it. They have no choice but to read it because it's given to them. They have to comply or they lose their job. Like some of you on your job, they tell you either do it my way or the highway. So cognitive consequences of forced compliance. And so in your mind, you're doing it, but you're going, I can't stand this person. I hate this job. They're making me do stuff I'm not supposed to do. And guess what that's doing? It's causing you to become, putting you in forced compliance. Let me give you something better. Kelman, 1953, tried to pursue the matter further. He reasoned that if the person is induced to make an overt statement contrary to his private opinion by the offer of some reward, now I'm talking to preachers, then the greater the reward offer, the greater should be the subsequent opinion change. In other words, if you pay me enough, I'll say what you want me to say. So the deacons pull you to the side and tell you, you can't preach that here. And if you preach it again, you're going to be put out the church because we're going to vote you out. I can't preach at a place that votes what to speak on. So preachers, if you think that because you can compromise the word to get a reward, and that the bigger the compromise, the bigger the reward, listen to this. His data, however, did not support the idea. He found, rather, that a large reward produced less substance opinion change than it did a smaller reward. In other words, it didn't matter. When you sell your soul, whether you get paid or not. You cannot sell your soul. You have to tell what God gives you. You have to be real. So many people are saying the right things, but believing in a different way. There's a lot of preachers that know what I'm preaching is the truth, but they will not say it because they won't have a platform left. Following kingdom order isn't an opinion. No, it's not an opinion. It is a duty. You have to do what God gives you. Now, I'm going to say something to you. When you join organizations, you have to believe that the organization believes. If you don't comply with the organizations, guess what happens? You have a cognitive consequence of forced compliance. And they pull you into the office and they tell you that this is how we do it here. And if you're going to be a part of this, this is how you're going to do it. Now, my thing is this. I understand there has to be order in everything we do. I'm not one of those random, crazy guys. Now, I understand that. I'm an apostle. I set order. I believe in all of that. But I will say this. You can't control what God gives someone if it's aligned with his word, if it's aligned with what he's doing. And here's the thing. When I sat beside Sid, who was a Jew on the plane, he enlightened me of their way. And I said something to Sid. I said, Sid, let me ask you a question. I said, Sid, is it true that Judaism does not believe that Christ was the Messiah? And they said, that's true. I said, so isn't it funny that you give me a book called the Holy Bible and it has a war in it, meaning that the Old Testament is Judaism. They don't believe that Christ, which is the Christianity in the New Testament, was who he was. But you give me a book with two religions in it and tell me this is the Holy Word of God, and they conflict with each other. I'll let you chew on that. See, that's why you need to get some education, because when you really know the truth, you'll know that this religion doesn't see Christ as the Messiah. They're still waiting for him to come. We said, well, he's the Messiah that came. But then you gave me a book that says he's not coming. You gave me a book that said he came and then he died, and they are called the Holy Bible, and you tell me to believe everything in it, but they don't believe it themselves who are of it. You might want to comment on that? I'll give you a moment. Because what's happening when you have the truth, see, for me, I just know this knowledge and not tell you because I don't want to cause. Someone told me the other day, you have to be mindful of what you say because you don't want to cause someone to go astray. I said, hold up. I said, hold up a second. I said, hold up. I said, stop. I'm not going to cause anybody to go astray. I'm going to educate you and hope you will go somewhere and study to show yourself approved, as the word says, so that then you can go, I know what he's talking about because I read it for myself. A lot of us take what someone tells us on Sunday morning and say, my pastor said. But baby, you are supposed to study to show yourself approved, and not because how would I look to get before God on judgment day and say, well, my pastor said. He said, but didn't I tell you to study for yourself? So listen to this. Many people are saying the right things, but saying the right things, but believing in a different way. They are not being true to themselves because it is not popular, or they're being a people pleaser. Let us consider a person who privately holds opinion X, but has, as a result of pressure brought to bear on him publicly, stated that he believes not X. So you got X over here that he really believes, but because of the pressure to comply, he says, I don't believe in X. This person has two cognitions, which psychologically don't fit together. One of these is the knowledge that he believes as X. The other, the knowledge that he has publicly stated that he believes not X. Now, if no factors other than his private opinions are considered, it would follow, at least in our culture, that if he believes X, he will publicly state X. That's what I want you to hear tonight. If you believe something, state it. Stop trying to hide because you're afraid that somebody's not going to like you for telling what you feel and what you believe. Who cares? You were born by yourself. You're going to die by yourself. And you better believe what you believe and stand on it. Do you hear me today? I might not agree. I can agree to disagree. But here's the thing. Whoever you found God to be, if he's brought you peace and you're living it the best way that you know how in what he's given you, then baby, Straje, you got it. I applaud you. You know why I applaud you? Because you're standing on what you believe. You're not wishy-washy, and today you believe this, and tomorrow you believe that. But when you get in front of people, you go to a church to preach, and you change your message because you don't want to offend anyone. I'm really Pentecostal, but I'm in an AME right now, so I don't want to offend the AMEs. Or I'm going to a Baptist church, but I'm really apostolic. I don't want to offend anybody. Baby, the word of God is what it is. You standing in a prostitute's house, or you standing in the church. It is what it is. You don't change it to fit nobody. I went to a place to preach, and I told them, you want the old Kerry to come. He's not here. He's not here. I have to give you what God gave me, and I awaken them to who God is now. I wasn't there to preach what made them happy. Okay? I can't stand it when I see somebody, oh, I'm about to go right now. You know where. I'm saying to myself, you know, dude, really, you irritated me, and I'm getting a little flustered because you don't have to. All of that is not necessary. You are now giving me theatrics. That's right. And now I'm no different than going to the Fox Theater and watching a play. Some of you need to quit it. You've gotten so consumed in somebody tuning and somebody humming and somebody, kind of slap your neighbor. Don't slap me. I need you to sit down and listen so that tomorrow we can apply this stuff. You can't apply you can't apply that when the devil comes in like a flood. You can't apply a tune. You can't apply a shout. But you can apply some knowledge when you sit somewhere and get some teaching. Woo! I feel God. See, that's what's wrong. We're too busy wanting to be moved emotionally. And the organ strikes the note, and they start shouting, and he said, don't make this, don't you do that, don't you do that. And he tickles the organ. This thing, you know, the whole church goes up, and I'm sitting there going, now God never showed up. He is not even here. What walked in was emotionalism and know how to work the audience. Well, I got some preachers mad at me, but it's okay because you're responsible to enlighten and to awaken and to preach to the people the truth and get out of the theatrics. Get out of the, that's right. Pep rally, all hype and no substance. Come on. And you know what's funny? The young people who have grown up in this era today, they can't get with it because they know that there's more to life than that. He said, in other words, the people of God stop submitting to legalism. Apostle Joseph Johnson, man, look, if I can, man, that's it. We got to stop submitting to legalism. You can't stop trying to be right. And can I say something? Can I say something? Can I say something? Can I say something? You want to go to theology school. There's nothing wrong with getting knowledge. Nothing at all. But I think the Bible did say acts of God who would give it generously. He would give it to you. Because when you go to a theology school and get that degree, that means that man has approved you because you have kept the curriculum that they designed to say that now you are considered a man of God. I was a man of God before I ever set foot in your class, sir. Your paper does not define who I am. That's just legalism to say, basically, you know what? He's a preacher now because he have a piece of paper. Baby, let me tell you, the biggest devil that ever walked up in a church was when they had a piece of paper that said, now you're licensed as far as you passed the course, now you can preach. If God never called you to preach, then man approved you. God never even acknowledged you. My God. It's so many people that's in pulpits that God never put up. Some were sent and some just went. And there's a lot of them that went and got a piece of paper, went somewhere and got a degree. And now they think they can tell you something because they studied the book. If God didn't charge you to do it, sit down because you're playing with people's lives. Woo! I'm sorry. And somebody had the nerve to tell me, oh, you just mad because you don't have a degree. Baby, I can go to school and get a degree for preaching, but I don't need one. I know what they're teaching. I need to teach you what God is teaching me. And they won't teach that because it's not popular and it's contrary to what they want you to know. It breaks the spirit of control off of your life. And why should I teach you something that gives you freedom? Woo! She said, LOL, I dropped out of seminary because it didn't feel right. That was not my place. Come on, Andrea. I wish I had some people there to say something like, I know some of you mad, and it's okay. You're having a cognitive dissonance. I understand. There's a war going on in your mind. I understand, and it's okay. Some of you won't be able to accept my teaching tonight because you're going to say, it goes against my core belief. It's all good. But listen to this. Hence, his cognition of his private belief is dissonant with his cognition concerning the actual public statement. In other words, some of you are saying some things publicly, and they're behind your... When you get in the car, you're going, God, forgive me. I should have told them what you told me to tell them, but I wanted to get paid tonight. I didn't want them to keep my offering. Or I know I should have told them, God, what you said, and I know what I really stand on, but it didn't seem popular because, you know, not many people are saying it. And so since everybody is saying this, I thought that's the thing for me to say. You know, I thought for me to say what everybody agrees with is the right thing to say. No, boo. Your job is to say what God says to say, and if only one person that you're there to save the one. We got to stop trying to move people and preach to the church. When God send me somewhere, he may send me for 2 people. And if 1,000 there, God bless the other 999, whatever it is. But I'm there for the 2. If the rest of them get something, God bless you. We got to understand we're on assignment. When you go somewhere to preach, you go for assignment. You don't go to make a name for yourself. You don't go to try to teach somebody that I know what I'm... No, when I go somewhere, I turn down engagements because God said, no, I don't want you to go there. That's not your assignment. Your assignment is to go over here because I need you to save this person who's going to reach another 1,000 10 years from now. That's why you need to follow your assignment. Apostle Johnson, continue, man of God, follow your assignment. All of you tonight, follow your assignment. As much as I would hate to say this, many preachers and even those sitting under the sound of my voice right now openly agree with what is being said, but because of your core beliefs, you say, I must dismiss it. In other words, a way I truly feel, minus the cliques, minus the cliches, minus the rituals, minus the gimmicks that you've experienced throughout the course of your life. Aren't you tired of going and hearing the same cliches? Get ready, get ready. Well, I'm ready. I've been ready. I was born ready. I'm retired of the cliches. High five somebody and tell them joy's coming in the morning. And I woke the next day more depressed than I was before I went to bed. It's a cliche. It's the right thing to say. Come on. They are bored. That's it, Pastor Harris. They are bored. And I'm going to read, Lord, I can't. Bored. Boredism. Their mind is closed. So now they're sitting in service, looking at their clock saying, I'm ready to go home. Russell said, wish more ministers thought like you. Keep it up. Thank you, brother. Russell, I won't do that. I promise you, and I appreciate my brother. Me and Russell go way back to school. I've been real since I was in high school. I've been real since I was born. Here's the problem. When you conform to what people want you to be, now you're popular with people, but then you classify yourself for that person that God said, depart from me, you workers of iniquity. I never knew you. I never knew you because you didn't do what I called you to do. You done what was popular so that you could make a name for yourself. Sonia says, yes, I'm ready to die. Just yet, I want my blessings while I am living. Come on, somebody. We are supposed to live. Minus the cliche. When I go to church, I don't need you to cliche me. I don't need you to give me a gimmick. I don't need you to do any of that. What I need you to... See, Amy knows me. I've been carried all of my life. I'm me. And I learned a long time ago, you can't beat me being me. You just can't do it. Come on. People get bored. They go to church, they're bored. They're looking at their watch. They're saying, I hope he shut up. I hope he hurry up. Oh, my God. Who's preaching today? Oh, Jesus. Oh, Lord, I hope he ain't preaching. I hope he ain't preaching. Somebody said, calm down, bud. I just released him. He's going poof. So listen. Let me give you a classical. We almost finished. We may go over a little bit tonight because I'm feeling good. A classical illustration of cognitive dissonance is expressed. Let's see. Edward says, I believe a lot of people's core beliefs were taught to them from that's it, indoctrinated system. That indoctrinated system was called parents. It was called upbringing. It was called culture. And then they went from that culture to church and got more indoctrinated. And then guess what? Boom, here we are, having a cognitive dissonance. So with that being said, a classic illustration of cognitive dissonance is expressed in the fable, The Fox and the Grape. In this story, a fox sees some high-hanging grapes and wishes to eat them. When the fox is unable to think of a way to reach them, he decides that the grapes are probably not worth eating. With the justification, the grapes probably are not ripe or that they are sour. Hence, we get the common phrase, sour grapes. The moral that accompanies the story is this. Any fool can despise what he cannot get. Booyah. Blow the stage up. If I had a mic, I'd do like President Obama, I would drop it. Any fool can despise what he cannot get. This is my mic. I dropped it. A fool will sit and tell you that, oh, that ain't right because they can't get it. They can't get with it and they can't do it. And so since they can't do it, it must not be right. Baby, the world does not evolve around you. The world does not conform to you. Any fool can come on now. Any fool can despise what he cannot get. This example follows a pattern. One desires something, finds it unattainable, and reduces one's dissonance by criticizing it. When a person cannot get with what I'm teaching, it's too big for them. They can't get with it. So what do? They shrink it down and dissolve it because they can't handle it. To avoid this discomfort, people attempt to dodge situations in which they'll be exposed. Woo. So in other words, I ain't gonna talk about it. We ain't gonna talk about it. I don't believe it. We're not gonna go there. We're not gonna talk about it. Wait a minute, boo. Wait a minute. You want to sell me Jesus, so why can't you talk to me about Buddha? Why can't you talk to me about Islam? Why can't you talk to me about Hinduism? Why can't you talk to me about what Jehovah's Witnesses believe? Come on, somebody. Don't dismiss them. Listen. But if you can't get with it, you dismiss it. Because it gives you a cognitive dissonance. I'm almost finished. Joe Elster, not Joe Osteen, Joe Elster, coined a phrase underneath this topic called adaptive preference formation. Adaptive preference formation. How many times do you know people that adapt to the preference of the formation. In other words, get in line, get with the program. And so with that being said, I'm going to preach, Russell. With that being said, they get an adaptive preference formation, which occurs when someone realizes that the thing they want is unattainable, and then reduce their dissonance by criticizing that thing. For an example, let me read a few comments. The Jehovah's Witness don't mind talking about the Bible, but us saved folks will run once the subject gets hard. Man, you better say it. They will, son. And let me tell you something. I told you, I don't argue a person's belief. That's your belief. But my job is to awaken you to another part that's missing so that you can come from all these rules and regulations and you got to make sure you walk the fine line. Baby, God just birthed you into a world, and the world put these things on you. He didn't. God birthed you to be you. And then your parents taught you to be what they wanted you to be, a lawyer, a doctor, a dancer, or whatever. And now you got all this pressure to be who you're not supposed to be. So there's a cognitive dissonance going on. Now you're in church. Now you're this preacher who's scared to preach what God is giving you because it's not popular. Listen. So what people do because of adaptive preference formation, they get in where they fit in. They get in where they fit in. So since I believe this way, let me find a church that believes. I'm a Church of God in Christ person, so I need to find Kojic. Baby, there's more than Kojic. Come on, somebody. There's more to life than Kojic. I went to the temple one day and sat with the folks over there that taught Islam. And I wanted to hear what they had to say, because you know what? I can learn something. Because you believe yours strongly, you believe in your belief strongly, I believe in mine strongly. So let's learn from each other. What happened to people sitting down at the table? That's why we have a United Nations. They come together to patrol the world. We can't even sit down and talk about religion, but we're going to heaven together. Wait a minute. How can we go to heaven together and we can't even talk about beliefs here on earth? I'm just asking. So listen to this. I got to finish up. So they have an adaptive preference formation, which occurs when someone realizes that the thing they want is unattainable, and then reduce the dissonance by criticizing that thing. For an example that comes to mind is in 1971, the classic Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. How many remember Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? When the protagonist Charlie, trying and failing multiple times to obtain that golden ticket in the few Wonka bars he can afford. Late at night, Grandpa Joe and Charlie open yet another empty chocolate wrapper. Charlie says, "I bet the gold makes the chocolate taste terrible." He's saying that because he cannot get what he's seeking after. So since he can't get it, evidently, God doesn't want me to have it. Because if God wanted me to have it, he would give it to me. Oh, now you want to bring God in it. No, God wants you to have it, but your core beliefs is blocking you from receiving it. The only way you can receive what God wants you to receive, you have to leave your beliefs, your core beliefs, what you were brought up to believe. You have to leave them here and step into an awakened state of consciousness and say, God, show me what I'm missing. Because Willy Wonka was mad. He was mad because the Wonka bars, he was searching for this gold ticket, but because he could never get it, now he had a cognitive dissonance, and he broke it down and says, evidently it is not worth going after. So here so Charlie is justifying his failure, decreasing his dissonance by realization why the golden ticket isn't so great anymore. Can I say something to everybody? If something is unattainable for you, it doesn't mean that it's not good for you. It just means it's not for you. Meaning, what I mean by that is, you sometimes have to drop your beliefs, then you can get what is unattainable. When I talk about the fox seeing the grapes, he didn't think of a way to obtain it, so he said, evidently, I don't need it. See, some of you today can be great if you stop sabotaging with your mouth. When you stop putting everybody, oh, I don't want to work for that old company because I heard this. Why you want to put them down? You don't know what they really are, but you heard it from somebody who's disgruntled. And disgruntled people are unattainable people, and unattainable people are not going to promote something good. They're gonna minimize it to make themselves look good because they could not obtain the status necessary. My God. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all caught me on a good night. On a good night. When people can't get with something that's causing them cognitive dissonance, they will quickly put it down and go to the something that agrees with their core beliefs. I'm Baptist, so I'm looking for Baptists. I'm looking for God. Whether God is in Baptist church, whether God is at the 7-Eleven, whether God is at the car wash, wherever God is, that's where I want to be. I can find him sitting at home with my feet up watching ESPN. Come on, somebody. Some of you think God is just in church on Sunday morning. God will give you a revelation while you're driving your car with the music off. He'll let a song come on the radio that's singing some words that will give you a revelation. But because of the cognitive dissonance, you quickly say, oh, the devil is a lie. Why are you going to speaking in tongues? Because you can't handle the truth, so you get religious? Oh, my God, my God, my God. Dissonance is most powerful when it is about your self-image. Remember I talked about ego? When it's about your self-image, now it's dissonance. Dissonance causes you to feel some kind of way because you couldn't live up to the standard. First of all, the only standard I'm required to live up to is the standard that God put on my life the day he caused me to be born. Not the standards of my parents, not the standards of my school or my friends, but the standard that God placed on me when he decided for me to be birthed. That's the only standard I need to be concerned about. Many of you are trying to live to the standards of people who can't even live to their own standards. They're asking you to do something. They're asking you to do something, but they won't even do it. They're asking you to support something that they don't even support or believe. You're responsible to listen to the cognitive dissonance that's going on in your mind, and you need to say, wait a minute. If I'm having something going on inside of me, then why is the past fighting the future? Because the past doesn't want to give into the future. It wants to stay fast to what it believes. But you know what? I can be a better person if I listen to something new than stay with what I know. And I know what I know, but I need to know what I don't know. Because what I don't know can help me. And what I don't know also can kill me. God is trying to enlighten you today to awaken, and this cognitive dissonance that's going on inside of you is nothing but the spirit of discernment fighting inside of you that's telling you, you must change. I'm giving you the truth. You don't want to hear it because your religious beliefs tells you if it's contrary to what you believe, dismiss it. And God said, you are dismissing me. And he says, some of you missed the part that says, seek me while I may be found. Call upon my name while I'm near. And God said, I came to visit you. I came to give you what you needed. There was a cognitive dissonance going on inside of you, and you listened to the voice that said, this is how we do it. And because of that, now you're struggling. Now you're suffering. If God said, I was that you will prosper as your soul prospers, that means that your soul is not prospering if you're not prospering. And if you're not prospering, it's because you refuse to listen to anything outside of what your core belief tells you. So with that being said, I'm going to give it dismiss. So I want to ask a question tonight. Did this bless you as much as it blessed me? Did it? Now I've got more. I'm not going to give it all to you tonight. I got some more for next week. But did it bless you? Did it? Did it bless you? Wonderful teaching. Yes, yes. Come on. If it bless you, give me some hearts on Periscope. Facebook, I think you guys can do hearts too. If it bless you, come on and say something. Say, listen, bless me tonight, man of God. Now this struggle that's going on in my mind, I know what it is. And I've been saying, loose here, devil. And the reality is it was not the devil. It's a cognitive dissonance that's telling me that something is not right. And I need to listen to this new teaching that can help me live a better life. There you go, blowing my page up. Thank you for the blow. Oh, I feel special. I feel like I've done something tonight. I feel like I've accomplished my mission. And you shall know the truth. And the truth shall make you free. Edward said eye-opening. You know what that's called, Edward? you've been awakened. Russell, thank you, my brother. When you have an eye-opening experience, it's called an awakening. And my job is to awaken you from your sleep, to remove the veil from your eyes, that you can see through the eyes of awakenment. And what that awakenment means is an awakened movement that says that I'm going to let everybody that I know what I've learned, because I don't want them to be in doubt. Listen, I'm not condemned. I don't feel all this bondage on me. I don't feel all this pressure on me. Thank you, Amy. Amy said, Perry, preach it. I'm going to preach it, baby. I don't have all this pressure on me, because you know why? I awakened and realized that a bunch of this crap was foolishness that was taught through ignorance. In my closing, a mother was in the kitchen cooking Thanksgiving dinner. And she had a pan with a turkey in it. And she cut the turkey in half, and she threw one half of the turkey in the trash, and she put the other turkey in the oven. And this little boy said, Mom, I'm having a moment here. I'm having a cognitive dissonance, because I'm not understanding, why did you throw half of the turkey in the trash and put the other half of the turkey in the oven? And the mother looked at the little son and said, well, baby, I saw my mother do it. And grandmother was sitting in there, and he went in and said, Grandmother, why do you put half the turkey in the trash and the other half in the oven? Baby, I saw my mother do it. And luckily, great-grandmother was still living. She was rocking in her chair. And the boy is having this cognitive dissonance, and he needed some answers, because it don't make sense. And he says, Great Granny. She said, yeah, baby. Granny, why do you throw half the turkey in the trash and the other half of the turkey in the oven? And she said, baby, I didn't have a pan big enough and didn't have a refrigerator to put the rest in, so we had to throw it away. Boom. Ignorance will keep you repeating things until somebody has a cognitive dissonance to ask the question, why? The reason why she threw the turkey in the trash is simply because she saw somebody else do it, and she trusted her mother, and her mother trusted her mother, who trusted the mother, but the mother done it because there was not a refrigerator in her day, and the turkey was going to sour, so she got rid of it in order for them not to get food poisoning. So today, you need to really ask the question, why are we still doing things that were done back in the day? Has God not given us more knowledge and wisdom than what we have today? He has, but you cannot dismiss it because it doesn't agree with your core belief. Okay? So listen, I want to say this to you, as I always do. I hope this bless you. We have a ministry here, and we're financing our ministry. I'm not going to beg you. I'm just going to ask you, if you want to be a blessing to our ministry, you can visit my website, www.kerry, which is KERRYAPOPE. If you go there, you can donate whatever God puts on your heart to do. And to the ministry, we're doing great things, and we're trying to get better equipment to awaken people, to teach people. But you can visit my website, and you can make a donation. Whatever God puts in your heart. If it's $1, if it's $5, if it's $1,000, if it's $5,000. Some of you millionaires, let the Lord use you and donate $1 million. We blessed it in Jesus' name. And you got some folks so deep, I can't receive from a drug dealer. If you are a drug dealer tonight, and this word bless you, you can send your money. We will bless your money. Because you know why? You had an awakening. And it's going to cause you to stop doing what you're doing. Come on, somebody. Some of y'all that got so religiously deep, you missed your blessings. I am not that one. Amy said, thank you, Kerry. Awaken me. Sweetheart, that's my job. I'm here to awaken. And I thank you for your support. Thank you so much. Amy is a classmate of mine. We go way back, high school band camp. Russell's friends of mine. I see Prophetess Ramona came on. Happy birthday to you. She's rocking it, y'all. She is like, I'm not going to tell her age, but, she's rocking it. All right? When I get her age, I want to rock it just like Pastor Prophetess Ramona Franklin is rocking it. I'm telling you. He said, love the analogy about the turkey. So true and useful. Thank you, man. So listen, guys, if you want to be a blessing to us, you can visit my website, www.kerryapope.com. He says, LOL, it's no longer drug dealing money once it's in your hands. You better say it, DJ Peg. It's blessed money when I get it. Let me tell y'all a quick little story. A lot of people don't understand that when drug dealers and people of the streets come and donate their money to the church, I don't know why they giving their money. They understand the concept of how to get blessed. Bring a prophet a glass of water, receive a prophet's reward. Come on, somebody. I'm just saying. You're so welcome, sweetheart. We love you and Dr. Franklin. Give him our love, if you will. So listen, also, if you would like to give us, I want to offer, my wife and I, we do personal counseling, coaching, Christian